Sharrel Meeker. Let's chat. Hi. I feel like so settled in and cozy here. This is an awesome space.
This is what we want every time someone comes in. So,
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. So we are at your studio, which you co-own and run here in Brookline, Andem Studios.
Yep.
How long have you guys been open now? A few years.
yeah, more than that. Well, we opened in 2020, January 2020.
Oh.
We were in a different space in the building, but it was kind of kismet because we wanted to do just private spaces for ceramic artists and mixed media. And so when we opened, it was like, everything closed down in March, April, and then we could actually finish the build out because me and Karen had been basically quarantining together for months. And then when people could move in, everyone was so spaced apart that it was safe. And so it was like a safe haven from all the shitstorm that was. Is it okay that I swear?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I'm on Jimmy Fallon or something.
No, go for it.
All right. Yeah, so it's been 6 years, and then we moved into this space about 3 years ago? 2 years ago? 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 in the summer, so.
Oh my gosh, so great. I completely forgot that you had the other space and then moved here because I was thinking about around the time you had opened, I came to a basket weaving workshop.
Yeah, it was our first one right when we moved in.
Yeah, that was cool. So you had thrown a bunch of ceramic bases.
Yep, me and Karen, yeah.
Had the holes in them.
Yep.
And then a fantastic instruction. And yeah, I love those pieces.
I know, we'll have so fun.
Yeah.
It was very much a free form, do what you want kind of vibe, and it was a really great workshop, I think, to have. Me and Karen whipped out those bowls like no one's business to get it ready, but it was great. Our other space was cute and it was an amazing, lots of memories, but it was just so small we couldn't expand and kind of make a better business about it with it. So when we did move over here, we could have different tiers of membership. We could have a whole floor upstairs dedicated just to mixed media so that they're kind of away from our potter's dust, which is really nice because then we have more inspiration from all different kinds of artists, not just potters.
Yeah,
So it's great. And then we have workshop space and show space.
And just like cozy hangout space.
Yes, I know, right? This is our little lunch table.
I know. And obviously, it's a ceramic studio, so lots of great mugs to choose from. This is one of your older ones. It just is like so cozy.
My little classic wood grain.
The wood grain. Yep.
So yeah, we have all kinds of, all of our dishware and mugs are all handmade. Which
Isn't that so nice?
It's really nice.
Yeah. At this point, my my cabinets at home are, it's like all.
Mine's slowly getting there. My husband fights me on it on certain things, but I'm getting there. If I make a dish that he likes, I'll get there. So
Yeah. I know. It is a lot of my seconds that end up in my own cabinet.
So all over the place.
It's good. So when I'm doing this podcast, sort of the original inspiration to start recording these conversations is because, as you know, I'm a community arts educator. So I'm out in the world speaking with people all the time about trying to ramp them up and believe in their own innate creativity. And it's so annoying when people don't believe it. It's like, no, you really are. So I'm in the creative world. I'm always having these conversations with people. And so I really wanted to start capturing those conversations to like create a database so I could prove to my community, the people who don't feel they're creative, like, no, go look, don't just take my word for it. I have all these recorded conversations, all these different creative people doing different things. They've accessed it and found different pathways into it. Like, there's no one way to do this. And so one of the places I like to start is just like really with childhood and thinking about what type of creativity you were exposed to. But before we get into that with you, I want to see, I can't even remember when I first met you. I first found out about you through your work when you were under the brand Mud and Yarn. And you had and still have tremendous social media success. I was
Might be wavering at this point, but early on, yes.
Early on, you were ready for that like ride of the like the Instagram sales. Now it's changed, so it really the marketplace has changed so much. But obviously, you've pivoted your business.
Yeah,
so
that's what you have to do constantly to be able to keep going and surviving. Like, I mean, the Instagram social media craze. I jumped on it quick and figured out how to work it and made it work, which was great. It got me started. And then it was really just, it was meeting Karen and figuring out that we wanted to create something like this, not only for a space for ourselves to work, but also to give others that, because pottery especially just blew up in the last 10 years.
Yes.
People taking classes, and then people are realizing that, holy crap, I have, talent and I want to keep doing this. I'd love to sell my stuff, maybe make it more of a hobby, more than a hobby. And so the Instagram thing definitely catapulted me, but it has changed, like you said, so much. So I'm really just trying to figure out how to keep that momentum going. But also then my focus is the studio. So, I do their social media too. I'm actually now doing the social media for the Brookline Village Arts Fest happening this weekend.
Oh, great.
And so like that's actually been really fun to see such an account with like, a few hundred followers actually grow and see that again. It's like, oh, it really does still happen.
Yeah,
If you do post.
You know how to do it.
Yeah, I just been lazy about my own stuff recently. So, and then I think when I rebranded it kind of maybe, I don't want to say hurt me, but I think it maybe less visibility from my current followers. So I have to kind of start over a little bit, which is actually a little bit, I guess the point of rebranding. I still crochet, but it's very much like a side thing, and mostly it's pottery in the studio. So,
yeah. I think I found. I don't even know how I came across your account, but I came across it. Obviously, I'm always looking at pottery stuff on Instagram.
Same.
And then when I found you were local, I was like, oh my gosh! But thinking you're in the city, but you grew up in East Bridgewater.
Yeah, South Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're neck of the woods.
Right where I am.
Yep.
I was in East Bridgewater last night. Yeah, so that's always so exciting because you're like, you see these like random success online, and then all of a sudden you realize it gets closer and closer to home. You're like, oh my God, a real human.
There's these people actually doing these things and they're real. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was so cool. And then I don't even know. I guess it might have been when my sister-in-law Kayla Gilmore got studio space with you. That must have been at the time when I met you in person.
I think I might, now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been a pop-up at Restoration Coffee was the first time I met you in person. You came with your kids.
Yes.
And it was like a crazy Saturday morning at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, this is her in real life.
Yes.
You were just so full of life and energy. And I was like, I love that people are here and are local and that we can all connect and do this. And then like, with Kayla coming in here and then like all of us just connecting in that small world type of plane. So that worked out well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The Restoration Coffee. That's the awesome coffee shop in town in Whitman where I live. And I went in and I got one of your like the Chinese takeout box pieces, a planter for my friend Lindsay. Sorry about that. I never gave it to her. I kept it.
I have more if you want to go home with one for her.
I owe you, Linz. And you gave me a plant that I still have. That plant is thriving.
Wow, it didn't die. Amazing.
No, I got it.
I had to propagate all my plants. I know.
Yeah. I was like, do you want to keep the plant? And you're like, no, please. I have too many. It was one of those like Burrow's tails, I think. So it's just like constantly making more of it.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So growing up in the burbs down in my neck of the woods. So what was creativity like in your household? Were your parents, siblings, what did that look like for you?
I think I was probably the most creative in like an artistic way. My brother always loved Legos, so I got into Legos with him. I mean, that was just a ton of fun. But that's mostly following directions, I mean, it's great, but I think for like probably every child, you make handmade Christmas gifts, and you give them to all your relatives, and it was very sweet and loving about it. Like the classic styrofoam ball with the sequins push pinned in for ornaments.
Yep,
that type of thing. I loved art class as a kid. It was just like obviously more of a low key setting. I suck at math. I can do basic stuff, but like I just wanted to be creative. I remember taking pottery. I say that in quotes in like elementary school because you didn't understand the shrink rate phenomenon. So you made a pencil holder, and then as soon as you got it back, nothing fit in it because everything was shrunk. So everything was paperweight, So that was probably my first and at that time last experience with that.
Mhm.
And then I don't know, I think my grandmother taught me how to crochet at a young age. So that was something that I loved doing. So that was like new Christmas gifts of pot holders for everyone for many years. And then I really didn't pick it back up because, I think generally we're taught, oh, you need a corporate job. You need
Mhm.
to make money. You need to
Yeah.
survive, on your own, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of left that behind. I didn't do any creative stuff in college. I just got through it, got my degree, and moved to California.
Oh my gosh, okay, wait, so
Oh.
where'd you go to college? And what
Bridgewater. Well, Bridgewater State
Okay,
College.
great, and what'd
Now
you
it's
study?
university. I was an English major.
Awesome.
So I wanted to be a teacher originally.
Mm.
I wanted to be a high school English teacher, mostly because I had some that were terrible and I had a couple that were great. And I
Mhm.
think it inspired me to want to be that for students.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I've lost that desire really quick. I don't know what it was. It just didn't resonate with me at some
Mhm.
point in college, but I stuck with it, graduated. I was in publishing for a little while doing like proofreading.
Cool.
Actually in East Bridgewater. There was a publishing house in East
What?
Bridgewater. Yeah. I was like, I never knew this existed. It was right on Route 18. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was like college textbook shit, so it was kind of basic.
Okay.
And then I moved to California. Followed a boy and, basically ended up staying even though we broke up. But,
Yeah.
it was fun.
Where in California were you?
I was in Burbank mostly
Okay.
for about 5, 6 years. And then I moved to Northern California and was a massage therapist
No
up there.
way.
Yeah, I actually worked at a massage therapy school in admissions for a hot minute. Ended up taking the classes because I was really passionate about it.
Cool.
And then I was practicing for a while up in Northern California. So I was out there for a total of 7 years.
Wow,
Um,
that's a tough job.
yeah, it was definitely very physical,
Mhm.
very tiring. I
Building a
loved it
client
though.
base.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
worked at a little spa, which was great, but then I was trying to figure out how to like get private clients and that was hard and you want to be really careful and all that stuff. But I had a really great neighbor who lived below me. And he was like, I will be your regular client for like the rest of your life. And I can refer people. And I'm like, oh, this is what I needed.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. You always just need that one person
Mhm.
who's ready to hand out your business
Yeah.
cards at a moment's notice.
Yeah. And he was great. We're still Facebook friends to this day. But then I ended up getting metastatic melanoma. So I
Mm.
ended up having to pivot and move back home because healthcare being born here, Mass Health
Oh
was
my
all I could really do. And
Mhm.
also Boston hospitals are the best.
Yeah.
So
How did you find it?
I had a mole on my lower back. And when I had it removed, it was pretty much deep enough. It was already spreading to lymph nodes.
Wow.
So it really happened so fast because I was like just turning 30, doctors and stuff out in California and went through quite a big surgery there. And then they told me, if, I said, should I move back to Boston? My family is all mostly
Mhm.
there. They said just I would run back to Boston if you could because like it's the
Wow.
best place to be. So I got into a clinical trial here at Beth Israel.
Mhm.
Um, and that's basically what got me into pottery. I needed like art therapy.
Right.
Basically, I just need to keep my hands busy.
Yeah.
So I signed up down at Feet of Clay, which is literally right below us in the same
Mhm.
building. And I was a member there for quite a few years. So
Cool.
it gave me the best distraction I could ever have from all the medical
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
so when you went to get the mole looked at, was that something like were you doing regular annual skin checks? I just had my annual. I have melanoma in my family.
Oh
My
God.
dad had it. They caught it early. They were able
That's
to
good.
cut
Yeah.
it off
Yeah.
and not have to do lots of treatments. But so I have to get my annual skin check every year. I was there yesterday.
I'm so glad. Good.
Had something removed from my finger.
Well, Monday is melanoma month. So, or not Monday,
Okay.
this coming month is melanoma month.
Well, and especially we have like fair, freckly
Yes.
skin tone. So were you already in that routine or so you were just like, I just want to get this thing dealt with?
I was in my 20s thinking I was invincible.
Yeah.
Most 20 somethings do.
Right.
I would come back home to Cape Cod every summer to see my
Mhm.
family from California. So I would come back and I'm laying on the beach and my cousin who's a nurse was like, "You need to get that mole on your back looked at." And I was like, "Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, 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 yeah." Like I didn't have health insurance.
And it's on
So
your back.
yeah,
So
I'm
it's
like,
like,
I
who
can't really see
cares?
it. But then it was like, I remember scratching an itch and realizing it was the mole. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, and it was like bloody. And I'm like, this is not good. So
Mhm.
I freaked out because at that time, that's how I basically did things. Paid a month's rent to get it removed at some like bougie dermatologist in LA, but I got it off. And from there, it was just kind of, okay, we need to do more. Like, you need to do a wide excision where you go in and take out, like, clear the margins, and we test your lymph nodes out to see if it had spread, and it had. And I was like, oh my God, like, it just, you don't feel anything for the most part unless it's hit a major organ.
Wow.
And it's then affecting you. So it was pretty close to that. I was like a stage 3C. So it was right before stage 4. Had spread to lymph nodes in my groin, and it was moving fast. Like, once it hits your lymph system, that's why they always say, like, yearly checks and just get things off, because as long as you catch it early, you're good.
Yeah, the lymph system, I've learned through people going through cancer in my family, it's like the highway. The highway in your body. Once it hits the road, you don't know where it's gonna go.
Nope.
Take any exit. So
it's very true, and unfortunately affects way too much of us.
Yeah.
So ultimately came back here, went through all the necessary protocol and got into a clinical trial that lasted, I think it was 2 or 3 years. I was on systemic treatment. Every 3 weeks, I'd go in and get an infusion of immunotherapy.
Okay.
Which the one I was on is now, like, mainstream. It's used for many other kinds of cancer, which is amazing. So I kind of feel like, you kind of feel like you contributed a little bit.
Yes, of course.
And I survived. It's like, woohoo.
Yeah, that's such a big risk.
Yeah.
So they had taken out lymph nodes, and then they did the treatment. And so where are you at now? Has it been like 5 years since you stopped
10,
treatment?
actually.
10 years?
I'm hitting my 10-year anniversary this year. So,
Gosh.
yay.
That's such a good feeling.
It is. It really is. It's a little, like, you still get that, they call it scanxiety when every time you're going to go. And luckily, I don't get scans anymore. I graduated past that. But the skin checks are now my, like, and feeling around for lumps and bumps. It's always the biggest thing. I had a mammogram yesterday, so everyone's got to get it checked.
I know. I turned 40 last June, and I got my first mammogram. And
happy birthday.
When I was in there, they were like, "All right, so we're booking it for next year." I'm like, "This is an annual thing." Excuse me. Apparently, yes. Apparently, it is.
Yep. I know.
But it's so great, though. I'm so glad that you got that checked for obvious reasons, and I just feel like it's worth spending a minute here because there's so many things. Like, my appendix ruptured this past fall because I had tremendous pain and kept being like, "It's fine. It'll be better tomorrow. It'll be better tomorrow." Like, didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, for the most part, we're just like, go, go, go.
Yes.
And then sometimes, I mean, I don't want to say they're all like this, but a lot of the time your doctor will dismiss you thinking, oh, it's just stress.
Yeah, I know. So, it's so important to, like, not let stuff go by. Like, my mom had her whole stomach removed.
Oh my gosh.
Stomach cancer found. The way she found it is because she had medical knowledge. She had worked in the field and knew that having a little extra acid reflux after walks didn't make sense.
Whoa.
Like, every other person on the planet takes Tums.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like
my mom got an teen.
Wow, good for her. But still, that's awful to have to go through that.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah.
So at this point, were you living in East Bridgewater and commuting into the city for your treatment?
Yeah, I started actually before Feet of Clay. To be honest, I totally forgot about this, but I started at Mudflat, and my teacher was Liz Rodriguez, who now has a studio out in Northampton.
Yes, I know Liz.
East Hampton, sorry. So she was kind of the catapult into getting me into Feet of Clay, getting me just the love of pottery in general. It was her responsibility, I'd say.
Oh, that's so great.
And so then, I was living with my grandmother down in East Bridgewater. I lived next door again to Heather Wood and Matt Wood. So he was just opening Restoration Coffee. So it was like childhood friends all back together in the same hood.
Cool.
And I commute into Brookline. And then I ended up moving in with my now husband, Phil, who lived in Waltham. So it was a little bit of an easier drive.
Yeah.
From the South Shore, as you know, it's not an easy drive.
Yeah, and unpredictable.
Not great.
I know this morning I'm like, I'll be there a half hour early. I'll be there late. And then I ended up being here, I think, like
on time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was shooting for a half hour early.
Okay. So ultimately, we ended up buying a house in Dedham in 2021, just after we opened the studio, which is like everything just kind of happened at once.
Yeah.
And now it feels good. It feels settled.
Yeah.
And I'm not too far from the studio, and it's lovely.
So wonderful. So when you started getting into pottery, were you spending a lot of time on hand building and then wheel? Did you go right to wheel? What was sort of your draw?
My draw. I started wheel, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That was the class I took with Liz. And I was like one of two actual beginners in her class. She was very patient with me, but I was looking around and everyone else was like throwing cups, like no problem. And I'm like, what is happening? I think I cried after my first class, frustrated and going through a lot.
Yeah.
But I stuck with the wheel for years. Loved it. And I would play around with like ornaments with slab building, nothing crazy. I remember making a slab built mug at Feet of Clay. My mom still has it to this day. It weighs probably 10 pounds.
Yes.
It's huge. She's like, I love it. It's terrible.
I love that. That's so great.
Yeah. So the one you have is a
Yeah.
wheel thrown mug. And then
Yeah.
I started doing slab building. I think once we opened Andem, we got this slab roller. It's still behind me.
Oh,
And
better than a
it
good slab
changed.
roller.
Yeah, it changed my world. So I was able to be more consistent. I could play with texture more, which was huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of never look back. I still throw, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
So everything right now has been slab built, and I'm playing with porcelain now, which is a new thing for me.
Oh my
I was a little scared. Everyone tells you, "Oh, porcelain's so scary," and then I was like, "Well, I've been doing this for 10 years. Maybe I could try this."
Yeah.
No, it's like,
Yeah, it's just different.
Yeah.
It just behaves differently.
Yes. And finding something that you can slab build with that has grog obviously makes your life a lot easier. 'Cause
Right.
If not, it's gonna crack.
Yeah, so you're doing hand building with porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, it's so interesting the way porcelain behaves because it's sort of like I remember doing slab stuff for it with it and just thinking like, oh no, it's drying out faster than I thought. But then it's like you just move it a little and it just totally gets its plasticity back. It's like,
Exactly.
oh no,
Weird.
it's not. So just that's everything I feel like with clay. It's all once you can figure out how to manage the moisture content of whatever clay you're using, huge unlock.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden.
Yep. And it's funny when I still go back to like this classic speckled tan that I love from Sheffield pottery. I'll be working with porcelain for weeks and all of a sudden I'll go back to that speckled and I'm like, oh my God, it's so easy. Like I can let this dry like without any plastic. This is amazing.
Right?
It's kind of crazy.
Oh, that is kind of fun. So then it's sort of like, all right, I want to
Whip
make some
through, bunch of mugs or
quick
something.
stuff on super speed. Yeah. So those to-go mugs you made, are those with the speckled?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. And I really like painting on the speckled. It adds a little more like interest than just painting on the porcelain. I love the porcelain for what it is. It's beautiful and white, but like it's too clean sometimes. I like the speckled. It's my first love and will always be.
Yeah, so we have some of your pieces behind us. It's so cool seeing the textured. I'm gonna grab this.
Yeah. That's my
So
newest.
these are gorgeous. So this is something that reminds me of like the piece I have, the takeout box. So it looks exactly like a takeout box, but then you touch it and you're like, oh, wait a minute. So
Which I do have one of those. I should have brought those out too.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah, and usually, so I haven't done it yet because I'm running late for stuff, but like I usually coil in some brass wire to make it look like, like an old notebook page that you just ripped out of a school book or something.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk me through the process of making a piece like this. And for anyone who's just listening to this, I mean, every episode practically. Like, this is an arts podcast, okay?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like not show
Yeah.
the stuff that's going on.
You can see the video on Spotify and on YouTube. If you're streaming it from somewhere else, stop doing that. Go. It's one of those ones. We'll be descriptive as I can. But what we're looking at right now is this beautiful, tall, probably 10-inch tall vase that Sharrel has made. Looks like it has a torn edge with holes cut down the side, which is tricky on its own. Like I do berry bowls and everything, and they get it's so hard to smooth them, the paint. And then you have all of this drawn underglaze pencil, I assume. So you're firing the piece and then adding the underglaze?
Yeah, so I actually bisque fire twice. So I've only started working with underglaze pencil with these paper vases or love note vases, as I've been calling them, because trying to draw lines with underglaze obviously is like a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
To be honest. With a pencil, it's just like drawing with a pencil. However, if I were I don't draw them on the greenware. Like, so I'll bisque fire a greenware without any lines, no decoration, no nothing. It's just the vase. And then once it's come out of the bisque, I then draw the lines and the text and all that stuff. But if I were then to brush on the clear glaze, which is what I've been using to not make it smear, it then will just like wash out the lines, and all of a sudden it's smudged everywhere.
Got it.
So I did some research and I was like, all right, I got to bisque this a second time after I
Mhm.
put the lines on, which was a pain, but then I got the result I wanted. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth it, I think.
Yeah, and this is porcelain.
Yes.
So it's like you're using porcelain clay,
Mhm.
which is a much more processed clay to have. So therefore, it costs you a lot more money to purchase
Yeah.
it. That's automatically putting your price up. And now you're doing a double bisque. That's more electricity costs.
Right.
I mean, I think these are all decisions you've had to make to go forward with your true artistic vision.
Mm.
But I like to know that because sometimes people don't understand where the cost comes.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
So
that.
we're not even talking about like any of your time spent or
Right.
like paying
Experimentation.
for the lease for the studio and like all this. Yeah,
Maintenance
all
and
the trial and errors,
yeah.
all the pieces that like got smudged when you were trying to avoid
I
the
even
double bisque.
I even tried doing like a dipping clear on a small one that I had just
Yeah.
recently, just to be like, I know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try it.
Yep.
Yeah, it just all just bled right down.
Yeah.
So I was like, ugh.
Such a fun thing about pottery that it's like once you crack the code on how to make something, it's like you get rewarded with opportunity for flow state.
Yes. And then it's like you can take that and maybe incorporate it into a new design. Although a lot of the time when you start with a new design, you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
You might know how the glazes might behave, but at the same time, if you want a certain look, like obviously my lines aren't perfectly straight. I'm not using a ruler. I want it to look a little bit more organic and fun. There's definitely artists out there that have done this and done it much better than, in my opinion, much better than I have. And it's just so awesome to see people having fun with that.
Yeah.
And then I really just wanted to make custom vases. Like I made the first one I ever made was huge. It was and it was wide and it was kind of oblong shaped. And it was for my neighbors who got married and I put their entire song lyrics on there.
Oh,
Um and so that was really special and fun. And then I was like, well, I could just make basic ones too. So that just say, I love you. Or, this one has, modern English. I'll stop the world and melt with you. So it's like,
nice.
I want to show off that I could put anything you want on there and make it
Yeah.
custom. And then that also kind of makes it more one of a kind in that way. Obviously I love making this stuff, but I also love selling it.
Yes.
And you kind of have to make stuff that you think will sell so that you can make a living, but also enjoy making everything because you're going to get sick of things at some point. Like for a long time, I was making these coffee bean mugs and actually still see them on Pinterest, which is really cool when you're like, oh, that's one of mine. And it's still on there.
That is cool. Those mugs are cool.
They
So
were
you were
fun.
pressing coffee beans into the slab.
Basic. It wasn't anything like scientific.
Yeah.
But
It was just a great design idea.
yeah, it was cozy. It looked really, like drippy and fun. And then everyone still like will randomly send me DMs and be like, are you making these again? I'm like, you know what? Maybe eventually.
Yeah.
I made so many over the past few years. I'm just done. So
Yeah.
you have to move on. You have to play around, try different things. But, sometimes they're a hit, sometimes they're not. So these are still very new. We're going to see where that goes.
Well, and it's nice to know, too, that it's like, again, once you've unlocked a design, if people really want it, it can sort of offset the R&D period for something new. Like, okay, I'm just going to do a batch of these because I know they're going to move and that's going to buy me some more time to kind of play around with this.
That was my to-go cups. Like they did really well at one of the restoration coffee pop-ups. So I'm like, all right, I have some of those. And I'm not here right now, but I have made lamps. Like we've been playing around with lamps.
Great.
Mood lighting is one of my favorite things. So I just really wanted to try that out. So I'm going to try them this weekend. Try them at Mother Brook Open Studios. See what happens.
That's great.
Yeah.
So when you started making pottery, what was your documentation like? When did you decide to start sharing photos of your process, your finished product? And was that in an effort to sell online or were you looking at selling at markets? Like, how did that part of your business plan, like sort of the marketing and distribution, click for you?
I think it just all at the same time because Instagram had everything built in and they made it free and easy for you to document. So I did a lot of process stuff early on because it also just encapsulated me. I was like, oh, this is so fun to show people
Yeah.
how to do this. And everyone loved a throwing video. It's definitely still
Yeah.
enjoyed.
It's mesmerizing.
Yeah, right? So, and I'm trying to do like the more of the slab building stuff where you actually show like rolling out a slab and doing that kind of thing. Hi, Susanna.
Hello.
So we have members here, which is
Go
obvious.
say hi. We're recording a
Little
interview.
You can feel free to do whatever you need to do.
Yes.
We have about 50 members here at Andem Art Studios. So,
It's so cozy in here.
yeah, it's a nice space. And the rain on a rainy day like this is so nice.
I know.
Especially upstairs where Susanna is. It's like you can hear it on the roof.
Oh, I know. I've heard a little of that in the background. And also, like if you get the kiln going on a rainy day.
Clicky clicks and nice and toasty and
So nice.
So anyway, the Instagram thing with process, it was it all kind of happened. Everyone, that's what they wanted to see.
Yeah, it's
So,
mesmerizing.
yeah, that's what you show them. And then I loved photography in general. And so learning how to take finished photos of my work was sometimes a challenge, but honestly, iPhones were really making it easy.
Yeah.
I do have a nice like DSLR, so that was helpful too. And it does make a difference to use that.
Yeah.
And so I got to play around with my photography skills too, which also like
Cool.
scratched an itch there. And then I think just getting all my stuff on Instagram, especially with people that were local, if I did a market or a pop-up, they knew what to expect and they would come knowing that I would have these certain things because I would show them. I will have all of these, like,
Yeah.
and then I started on Etsy doing like just the normal Etsy drops and stuff would sell out really quickly.
So exciting.
I know. It really was.
Do you remember the first time that happened?
Yeah, it was like because you turn your volume on your phone, so every time you make a sale, it goes cha-ching, and if you think cha-ching, 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 I'm like,
Oh my gosh, were you dying?
yeah, it was pretty surreal to be like people actually want my stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like my skill was there, but I think about it now and I'm like, ugh, like. I'm glad that I'm still making stuff. I also feel bad for like my friends Heather and Matt. They're such amazing supporters and they have like all the early renditions of my stuff and some later, but like I go over their house and they're so cute. You open the cabinet, it's like all my early stuff and
That's the best.
they love it and it's cute. What was I going to say?
Yeah, it's just so exciting that like you were doing Etsy and you were people were selling out. So people were keeping an eye on when so you must have been letting people know like, okay, I'm going to update because I mean, it's not just like you're picking some random time because you want to do a drop. It's a lot of work, like all the photography, the editing, the uploading, creating posts. And like, I love to nerd out on that stuff too. So you can really get into a whole rhythm there, but it's a big chunk of time. So it's sort of like you set a deadline and then you're working up against your own deadline.
It is. And then not even that, like once everything is like sold, say. Oh my God, excuse me. Cut that out.
I'll cut that out.
I couldn't even control it. So yes. So once you have the update has happened and everything is sold, then you have to set aside time to pack and ship because if you take too long, these people are waiting for their order. So you don't want to like take 2 weeks. And usually I was pretty good about it. Because I didn't have any other jobs going on at the time, just kind of being in here, but it was the early days. I would pack and ship at home, get everything done within a couple days and get it to a post office. So it was like super fast turnaround.
And what was your packaging like?
Oh my God. I mean, with 2 cats in the house too. It was like every box they were in, every crinkly paper they had to destroy. And so it was chaos. But it was kind of good. I developed a system where, go through, I write handwritten thank you notes. I will still do that to the end of my days because I think that is very special.
Yeah.
I've ordered from artists before and then there's something missing if they don't write like a little handwritten thank you. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I would do that and then I'd write their order and then put it on a box. And I knew exactly what I could fit in each box and how much roughly it would weigh. It was tricky to figure out. That kind of was intimidating to figure that out. But once I did, it was easy. And then I switched to Shopify, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago. Etsy, like most people kind of know at this point, was bought 1 or 2 times, I think, at this point. And their fees were just strange. I was like, why am I paying for your marketing when I'm doing my own marketing?
Right.
And it I didn't get seen more because of them. It was all my own Instagram. So I just got off, and it looked more professional having my own website.
Yeah.
So Shopify basically makes it look like that, and with the help of other members here who are also kicking ass and taking names. Pipe Dream Pottery, one of them, Michaela.
Michaela.
She helped me with a lot of Shopify stuff when I was transitioning over. I mean, it's a more than a full-time job. I mean, I still see it here to this day with her, with Marcy, who opened her own brick and mortar in Bow Market.
Goldie Ceramics.
She was a kiln renter with us and then evolved so quickly and got in her own space, and she's just been like killing it. And so to see that still happening for people is miraculous.
Yeah.
It's like so inspiring to be like, it still happens.
Yeah.
And then now it's like my online sales have died down. However, I'm going to be pivoting and doing more here. I opened a shop for a hot minute, as you know.
Yeah.
And it became a little bit too overwhelming to continue, but we got it started.
You got it started. I mean, you're the founder.
Yeah.
Like you and Karen and a third business partner founded Literally Local, a gallery space in Brookline Village, beautifully curated. I was patting myself on the back because you invited me to share work there.
Heck yeah.
I shared some work there. Really great jewelers, all sorts of artists. And it's just so cool to have shops, little local shops like that.
Retail is so hard, though.
It's really hard.
It's so hard. You have to have a vibe, and to keep that and have strictly artist stuff is very difficult.
Yes.
So we're trying it, and it's still there. As far as I know, Jamie has another like year and a half, 2 years on her lease. So fingers crossed she can keep it going.
Yeah. Everyone go shop Literally Local in Brookline Village.
So it's great to see our members, not only the people that come just because they want to have a hobby. We have so many people in the medical field, in the biotech field, architects, whoever that just need a space to play with art and clay. And then all the way up to people that are doing this full time and making it their full time gig. So
well, I mean, it's interesting the way you came to it is, you needed a space for your brain to like sort of relax, have a creative moment, and with a craft that takes so much of your attention, it forces you into this mindfulness mindset while you're making the work. And so whether it's, stress from a health, family situation, or you're in like a high-powered job, it's a beautiful craft to get involved with. I mean, they say touch grass. It's like, touch clay. They're at it. Stick your hands in the dirt.
Or collage or anything. And I think the more that the world is kind of spinning out of control, the more we gravitate to being in this space. It's like minds. It's very, we keep things all artistic at all times. We try not to bitch about politics or the world or whatever. And, if we need to, you need to. But for the most part, we're just here laughing. It's an escape of, all the bullshit you see all over the news. So
right. Well, and I like to just try and like live my values. And creating space for others to explore their creativity and knowing that good comes from that is a really beautiful value that is so great that you obviously treasure for yourself and then find ways to open that up for others, because not everyone is in a position to take risks like this. And it is a risk that you've taken again and again, signing leases for these studio spaces, negotiating,
throwing down money. Karen applied for a huge grant for us. We got new kilns a couple years ago.
Really? That's
in
great.
advancer shelves. That was like changed our whole game.
Oh yeah, so those are the shelves that like if the glaze gets onto them, it doesn't ruin the shelf. You can just pop
and they don't warp. They're lighter. They're more energy efficient for the kiln. So it does help. All little bits help.
So tell me more about your partnership with Karen. How did you guys come to know each other and sort of like get this great vibe you have?
Unlikely friendship, but not really. She was at Feet of Clay taking classes and then open studio time, and I was as well. And then I think there was a point where I would just see her in passing,
Mhm.
and we would chit chat. And she lives really close to the studio, so she knows Brookline. And excuse me, another one of our members here, Dave, who does all the little critters, Dave
Mhm.
Bowen, he was there a lot too at the same time. I was a daytimer because I didn't have a job really. So it was like there were specific people you'd see every day. Um, and Karen one time approached me. We had been There was like a group of us down at Feet of Clay that we were making way too much pottery for what their
Mm.
community kilns could handle
Mhm.
because we were selling a lot. Like I was
Yeah.
doing the Etsy and markets and blah blah blah, and it was like really just like taking off.
Yep. Okay, what's next?
Kind of,
Kinda.
yeah. And so they had a meeting and they were like, guys, we gotta figure this out. You
Yeah.
got limits. And we were like, all right. So I was on the verge of like, I need to find my own space.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to leave the community of those people I had met. And
Mhm.
I was like, what am I going to do? And I was living in an apartment. There was no way I could have a kiln.
Mhm.
Obviously, they're super expensive, and
Mhm.
let alone like the electricity it takes to hook them up.
Yeah.
So Karen approached me at some point, and the building that Feed to Clay is in, the one we're in now, was basically empty.
Mhm.
America's Test Kitchen was here.
Mhm.
They moved to the seaport, and then it was just like they up and left. So it was all this vacant space.
Wow.
And she said to me, there's a space in this building I want to go see, but I want you to do this with me. If we're going to make a studio, I want you to do this. And I was like, there were other people that she approached, and she said, but if you don't do this, I'm not doing this.
Wow.
So it felt like she put all this faith in me, and it felt so sweet and like just inspiring to do
Mhm.
this. And I remember talking to Phil about it, and he just took such a huge leap. He was like, if you feel like you need to do this, then you should do it.
Yeah.
So we saw the space, long story short, and we opened our first studio where it was mostly just a space for us to work,
Mhm.
us and the other owners. And then we were like, well, we have this space. Let's have some members. There's a demand. There's wait lists everywhere. It's not like we're
Mhm.
taking business away from anyone else.
Mhm.
So we did that. And then ultimately, we all had different, or at least 2 or 3 different visions of what we wanted the space to be, whether it just was a working studio for yourself or whether we wanted to evolve it into a business and do more with it. And so Karen and I wanted that. And so we decided to branch off and do Andem Art Studios specifically across the hall where it was private spaces only to start. Um, and we saw it more as a business expanding. So her and I just worked so well together.
Yeah.
Not only did we become fast friends through starting a business together and starting a second business together, we just had the same vision. We had the same goals. Every time there was a big decision, we pretty much were on the same page with each other.
Great. You must
So
have similar communication
yeah, yeah,
styles.
yeah. And I think we just make each other laugh, and that's key, I think, for any business.
Yeah.
Um, and she has so much knowledge to offer. Um, and it was more, I had the energy to keep it going, and we were going to do this. And so
Mhm. And the
we,
business acumen, because you had already had success at this point with
right.
your own pottery career,
Hmm.
with having those quick sale drops, understanding marketing,
Yeah.
understanding communications with the public,
Yep.
getting the word out there.
Yeah.
So, I
Getting
mean,
the
I'm not
social media built up.
surprised that she had so much faith in you and wanted to do with you. I mean, you had a proven business acumen at this point.
Yeah. I think we just had this common goal and a maturity that we both knew was going to get us far. We weren't going to let petty shit get in the way. We just wanted to create a space
Yeah.
for not just ourselves, but for everyone else that we actually want to be in every day. And,
Mhm.
our members have 24/7 access. So we don't have employees that are here to monitor anything. So it's a very independent space.
Mhm.
We don't hold regular classes. So it does offer those members more flexibility.
Yeah.
You're never like kicked out of a wheel or a room because there's a class. Like,
Right.
I mean, the only time we ever host workshops is in this space, and that's
Mhm.
me and Karen. So we're like, it's fine. Like,
Yeah, so you and Karen, your personal studio spaces are in the community space. So when I came to that workshop, it's sort of like you guys kind of cleared all your stuff out of the way, pushed the tables together. But yeah, it is a very unique studio space that you have here because it's everyone has their own little private spaces. So everyone has their own private space, all their own stuff,
yep,
their own wheels, everything. But then there's shared aspects, which in a pottery studio specifically is so helpful. Shared kilns, some shared glazes. I know a lot of people probably have their own glazes
Yeah,
too,
their
but
own. This community, everybody that's a member can use those glazes.
Mhm.
We do have what we call a space share membership. So you have like a shelf space, you have communal work in progress storage, you have communal wheels. Obviously, like, everything's communal,
Mhm.
except for obviously if it's a private space member, that's their stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and it's worked out really well because once people have taken a pottery class for, 2 or 3 times,
Mhm.
they know what they're doing, but they're like, "I'm tired of classes. I wanna just play."
Yeah.
I wanna do my own thing.
Yeah.
And so that type of space is actually hard to come by
Yeah.
in Boston. You have amazing places for classes like Clay Lounge, like Feet of
Mhm.
Clay, like Indigo Fire, Mud Flat, all of these places, and now more. I'm gonna plug, um, Annie, Alice the Potter, sorry, she's got a studio, Cozy Clay in Woburn, opening
Okay,
soon, so if
great.
anyone needs classes, that's where you go. Um, but yeah, having, independent studio space is very limited. Once you get into a place, it's so hard
Yes.
to, you know, leave and try to get in again. It's not
It
happening.
is. Well, and also when a lot of these studios who do classes want to open up membership opportunities, they're like, "Okay, you've done a bunch of classes here, you know, we want we want you to be able to do more." But then it's like, yeah, there's not a clear roadmap.
Mhm.
And like you said, yeah, then class time.
Takes away from open studio time and,
Mhm.
when do you schedule that? So, we're like the next step between
Yes.
maybe owning your own studio or
Right.
and the other thing is, like, if I didn't do this, I would've maybe had a solo studio at my house, but
Mhm.
then sometimes you feel a little isolated. You don't
Mhm.
have that community of coming to see these same people every day.
Yeah.
There's times where it can be like, "Okay, sometimes I just wanna put my headphones on and
Yeah.
not talk to anyone," and we all get that.
Yeah.
But then, you can do that here too. People
Right.
understand. So
Absolutely. We're all artists who have been drawn to sort of like a solo
yeah.
thing, but
Yeah.
the community is nice. Yeah, like my studio is in my basement, and because of that, I have another part of my business. It's a traveling arts
Mhm.
business
So you
because
can get out there and see
exactly,
people.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, like finding that balance is tricky, and it really is great that you have this space, that next step for people,
Mm.
um, where they can, yeah, take it out of class.
And they have a first opportunity to start selling their stuff if they want to.
Right.
Because we do a holiday show which lasts Friday through Sunday, and
Mhm.
this past 2 years we've been in this space, because we had more space share people, we were able to then they, like, came and started selling their stuff, and they were so surprised that they sold stuff.
That's
And they were like,
awesome.
"Oh my god." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's amazing. See what you can do, like, people like your work."
Yeah.
And so now we have more people doing the Arts Fest in the spring and
Right.
doing more markets on their own, and it's really inspiring to see that happening.
Yeah.
Because like, they might come into this thinking, "Oh, it's just a hobby," and then it's like, "Oh, actually."
I know.
Yeah.
That well, I mean, yeah, that's how it started for me with ceramics too. I was just taking a class to stretch, that creative itch I had, and then I had a corporate office job, and I would be talking about my pottery class, yes, and then I would be bringing what I made, and then people started wanting to buy it.
Right? You're
It's
like,
just like,
"Wait, people like this?"
is this yeah, maybe I can do it for real. Yeah. Yeah, that's really great. This is such a great location you're in too in Brookline Village. It's such a
Mm.
cute little part of the city. I love it here.
It's amazing because not only is it like a hub of artists, not only in our building, but in the area, there's like the most amazing food that you could
Yeah.
ever. So it's not a bad place to work.
I was just thinking too, I'm like, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
get
we
lunch
get
in here
lunch.
before
Yeah.
I head back to the stuff.
Not only do we have a great cafe around the corner, we have like really good lunch spots, really good after your day is done, drink spots. Like
Yeah.
everything's great here. And like I think the community is just so welcoming and in need of all these artists. And like
Mhm.
this building was bought. So when we expanded into this space, the building had just been sold. We were so nervous. We were all going to get kicked out.
Right.
Like they're just going to make it like biotech labs or something.
Condos.
Yeah. I was like, oh, and this building is so old. They loved having artists here. Obviously, none of us left. And they made space for more artists. So
Mm.
you have Gateway Arts moved into the first floor on Station Street. And it's just taken off in terms of like artist in the building. And they make it easy for us to have our kilns. They were really understanding about that.
Great.
That's a huge electricity, issue. So
Yes.
um,
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
we didn't like get in the way of a lunch, did we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I saw a couple of your members go out, probably
okay.
going to one of your awesome spots.
Oh yeah, probably
to have
going to hit
lunch.
up some lunch.
Yeah, and so did that when they shut down the street for the Arts Fest, it's like right in front of the train
Yeah.
station. Which
Yep.
what is that? Just
Station
Brookline.
Street. Brookline Village T-stop. Yep, Station
And
Street.
is that the only time of year they do that, or do they do one in the fall too? It's just
Nope.
the spring one.
Just spring.
Okay.
Brookline Open Studios, as what it was before this, has gone through many iterations.
Mhm.
And then since COVID, it started, I mean, I hate to brag, but me and Karen kind of started the street fair thing because
Cool.
in 2021, we were like, everyone wants to get out and shop and
Yeah.
we feel safe enough. Like I still have pictures of us wearing the cloth masks because we still thought that worked.
Yep. Outside.
Outside.
Yep.
But we were safe and everyone just did such a great job to sell their work. And then it was like, well, why are we doing open studios where you have to go around all over the place trying to find parking every time to get to these studios? Why don't we just figure out how to shut down the street
Cool.
and do it here? And it has grown in the past two or 3 years. And Jen Wyman, who runs Feet of Clay, has done a ton of work to help that happen, as well as Amy Emmert and the ladies at Station Street Studios that are in the same building. So Arts Brookline, all of it, we're all just teaming up to make this happen.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I mean, I can attest, I'm one of the people who come to the area for that event. Like you're driving commerce for all of the business around here, like
we get
I'm getting
sponsors for all the restaurants and cafes and
everyone wants that. The arts are good for the economy. And it's really awesome to see you guys like proving the theory here,
Yeah. I know. It's pretty great.
I know. I'm sad this episode is going to come out after it, but mark your calendars, everyone.
Every spring, first Saturday in May, usually, pretty much.
I remember when I came to, and I had my daughter with me, who was, I don't know, she was maybe like 4-ish or 5-ish at the time, and the puppet.
Oh, puppet.
The
show
puppet
place.
Yeah. She's like, where are we going? I'm like, oh, I can't go do this right now. And I really hemmed and hawed. I was like, all right, fine, we're going to go in. We went to the puppet show. Blew my mind.
Right? It's like, oh, it's actually fun for adults, too.
It was one of the best experiences. The level of artistry. Like, these are professional, globally touring puppeteers. Like, unbelievable.
They do so many great things for kids. They have shows almost like weekly, practically. So, yeah, they're one of our big sponsors this year, too.
So cool. Yeah, because I'm sure lots of people are just stumbling in like I was, just kind of like, what is going on here?
You never knew it's there. Like, it's, especially if you're in the South Shore, it's hard. It really is. I've done it, and I've never want to do that again, trying to get in from South Shore and find parking around here.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks. But once you do and you realize what's here, it really kind of opens up and you're like, oh, this is great, actually.
Exactly. Because it's like, yes, you might have to look for parking for 20 minutes, but once you do,
then you're good.
You're good for the entire day. There's so much to do.
You're fine. Yeah, I know. Parking is an ongoing battle here. We definitely have battled it as a business to push for more parking because if they get rid of parking, they're hurting all the businesses here. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
So we're all banding together to make that better, but we're, it's an ongoing battle.
I know. What are you going to do?
In a city. But otherwise, like, we get really lucky with being in a good spot where there's public transit, the train, the buses, and so many of our members live at least close enough by they can either walk or, hop on the train.
That's
easy.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
That is so good. So one other thing I wanted to talk to you too was about the rebrand from Mud and Yarn to Meeker. And I remember when I saw you change your social handle over, I was just like very intrigued, like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Because you had done such a great job building up Mud and Yarn.
It was a big choice.
A big choice, but it was really exciting. Like, oh my gosh, what's she going to do next? So what were you thinking about leading up into that? Had you been planning it for a while? Was this a gut instinct that you went for? How did that come about?
I think it was, I liked Mud and Yarn. I liked the name.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still crochet. There's a lot of that in my work. But it felt, because I was Mud and Yarn for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And it felt not juvenile, but it didn't feel like a 43-year-old woman
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm only getting older, and this just seems kind of weird for me. And I feel like so many of the artists I admire, you being one of them, go by your name.
Thank you.
Because it is why, like, what you should go by. I think if you have a shop, like there's many people I follow that are ceramics artists that, you know, just off the top of my head, I'm thinking of like Fettle and Fire. Like,
Yep.
oh, it's so cool. We all pitch pine pottery.
Natural elements.
Yes, like it's so perfect. And it does work for them. For some reason, mud and yarn to me felt like I had evolved past it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like it was time. And then my friend Justin from high school made my mud and yarn logo originally for me. So again, another South Shore person.
Yeah.
And so when I reached out to him and said I wanted to rebrand, he was so excited, and
Yay.
he helped me make my new logo. And he also helped us with literally local logo. So like all
Cool.
those local friends that were helpful. It just felt necessary, I think,
Yeah.
and more grown up for me to be S Meeker Ceramics. And I was focused more on ceramics than yarn, so I think it was kind of the right move to make. But I mean, I had so many friends that were like, "Don't you think it's gonna hurt your social?" And I'm like, I mean, if it does, it does. It's not the social media for me isn't the end all be all anymore.
Yeah.
Because I do have a studio and I'm getting back into local markets again.
Mm-hmm.
Because internet sales will come and go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think actually going to markets and meeting your customers and trying different areas, like I want to get into the Cape Cod.
Yes.
I want to try, JP Open Studios. I was going to do that this year, and then I just realized literally last night that I'm going to travel and it's going to be happening. So I'm like, oh, I want to be there. Yeah. But most of the stuff I would do would just be here in Brookline in the studio or, little pop-ups at the coffee shops. And I'm like, I need to branch out. I need to like find new people, but do it organically, not through social media.
Yeah.
And get kind of back old school, I guess.
Yeah. And just like using the social media still, but like as a portfolio.
Yeah. Just like this is what I normally do. I want to get into more shops. Ever since I started Literary Local, I'm like, this is maybe where I should do some more stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
So this girl, Sylvia, who I've known since the early days of making, her Instagram was Middle Dune. I think she still has Middle Dune. It's like paper art. She's so good.
Cool.
She opened a new shop in P-Town called Flotsam and Company or Flotsam something. Super fun, very oceanic, but like witchy oceanic. You love it,
gotta
girl.
See it.
Yeah.
Gotta see it.
So
Ocean Witch.
Yeah, like
Nothing's ever been more my vibe.
So I've been reaching out to her, trying to get stuff in there.
Great.
Just there's a couple other people I know that opened brick and mortars, like one in the North End. I'd love to get into, just trying new stuff.
Yeah, I love doing that. I love selling with shops because then they're promoting for you too. So it's like, like when I started wanting to do like wholesale and consignment stuff, I'm like happy to give a percentage of my sale away because I'm just making the work and dropping it on.
I know. That is the nice part. And I fought that so hard for so many years. I'm like, no, I can't get what I, would normally. But you're doing half the amount of work.
Yes.
You're not having to do the packing and shipping, the selling, it's like, nope, here you go. Have my stuff.
Yeah, it's
it's
a different business plan. I do think it's smart to choose one or the other. I think it's hard to do both.
Yeah, it really is.
And it gets complicated. So so for me, when I was like really leaning into doing wholesale, it's like I knew what my margins were. I knew what I had to bang out. I knew what a minimum order needed to look like.
I know. And pick your brain on that at some point.
Yeah.
And then I actually want to revisit with you because you told me about the Wicked Women market.
Maker's market. Oh, you got to do it.
I need to get into that.
You must. You simply must.
I think the South Shore is not untapped because it has been tapped for years.
Yeah.
But for me, in the beginning, it felt like people didn't want to pay my prices. And now everyone down there is like, oh, handmade is where it's at.
Yes.
And that's what I want to spend my money on.
Yeah, it's popping off down there.
Yeah.
And the Wicked Women's Makers Market co-founder, Julia and Grace started it. Julia Driscoll is the podcast episode coming out right before yours.
Oh, nice. All right, I'll have to watch that one then.
Yeah. So that's coming out right before this. So you'll definitely have to listen to that because she talks all about how it started. How her and her sister-in-law / bestie started it in like a pony barn.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and how it's grown, and it's one of those events that, like, I never miss. I went as a vendor 1 year because I'm like, "I just have to be on the inside of this and experience it," and it was a great market to sell, but I was so sad that I wasn't a customer.
Yeah. I know you can't. That's my sadness for this Saturday. I have to find a time. I usually walk around and take photos of our members in the show so I can like repost that.
Yeah.
But it's also I want to see everything else, and I'm on the social media and I'm like, "Oh my god, I need to go see this artist. I need to see this one." And then I'm like, "I'm not going to find time." So, luckily, me and Karen and Dave all share a booth, and so we can all kind of like sell for each other if we each
Perfect.
want to walk around or, get lunch or whatever. So, yeah, but it's hard when you just want to see everything and be in it.
There's some really good markets. Yeah. That's a great one. So, okay, so for on the horizon, you are looking to get into more shops,
Mhm.
looking to explore markets in different regions. What about for the studio? It seems kind of like strong where you're at, like just full steam ahead.
Yeah, I
What
would
else is coming
say
up for you?
not changing too much. I want to get more workshops happening here again.
Mm.
I think when show season starts to creep up, whether it's holidays and then spring, it gets so distracting that I can't focus on
Mhm.
trying to get people in for workshops. But, um, I want to do more of that. And then we offer kiln rentals to people like outside artists that don't have a
Oh,
studio or they have a studio at home
yes.
but can't fire anywhere. So that still takes up a ton of time because that's like people coming in, loading their work. And
Mhm.
so that's a good money maker for us. And
That's
it helps
great.
those people out.
Oh my gosh, so much because getting a kiln is,
It's
like,
so
just
expensive.
impossible for most people. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not even the expense, it's like you have to have make sure your house has the right
I know.
electricity coming from the street,
Right. And
have an
liability
electrician come in,
insurance. I know. Oh, geez.
liability, yeah, it's a whole thing. So
It's a
it
lot.
really the service you're offering for people to bring their work here, to have it fired by people who know what's going on, there's a whole system, you're not
Yeah.
going to some random person's
No.
house and firing stuff, like,
No.
that is a huge asset to the community that you're offering. So, yeah, it would be great to
Yeah.
see if more people can, like, feel empowered about really
Yes.
taking this craft seriously
Yeah.
with that
And
option.
more people like past members like Meredith and Jesse, they have a house. They've
Yes.
kind of been, I don't want to like throw them out there like they're offering this, but I know Kayla was firing there a couple times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
the Clay
just
Lounge crew.
yeah, it's great to be able to have the knowledge of firing kilns, at least know when someone comes in, what's your clay temperature? What are your glaze temps? A lot of
Right.
people don't know that, and you have to be that's the only thing you have to be really careful about.
Yes.
Other than that, knock on wood, we haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
So it's been a valuable asset to us and to others.
Mhm.
I don't really think there's much else. I mean, we're coasting. We have a wait list, so people do come and go, but for
Yeah.
the most part, like our private members are pretty stable.
It's awesome. How
Um,
could you leave this space? I mean,
well, life
you must be
happens.
moving.
Yeah, most of the times, the ones that do move on, either it's a hobby for them
Yeah.
and they're like, work changed, life changed, I
Yeah.
have to move. Or it's a financial thing too. I mean, that can be hard if you aim to be in all the time and then couldn't be and you're
Sure.
spending, a good chunk of change every month
Yeah.
to like not be there. That's awful.
Yeah, it's like no hard feelings, I'm
Yeah.
sure, when it's like you expect for people to be
Yeah.
coming and going. It's awesome to hear that you have a wait list,
Yeah,
though.
it is good. We constantly have inquiries. But the nice thing is like there's so many others opening too that I can be like, well,
Mhm.
have you tried this? Have you tried here?
Yes.
Or if they're not quite experienced enough to work independently here, there's great places to take classes. So
So cool.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys are a really great resource here just to kinda, like, reach out and people can kinda ask those questions.
It's a small world and
Yeah.
we're all here for the most part for the same thing. So
Yeah.
why not help each other out?
I know, the clay community is really a beautiful
Yeah.
community.
We're very open.
Always found support in any ceramic artist, always very open to be like, "This is the clay I use, this is the glaze I
Yeah.
use, this is how I figured it out." It's
Nothing's
like
like there's no gatekeeping.
no.
I mean, there's the random people that I've experienced that have done that, but then it's very rare.
Yeah.
For the most part, we're all here to just like, oh, try this technique. Have you tried
Yes.
this glaze on that clay? Like
Mm.
what can I expect? Oh, don't do that because that's not going to be good. You know?
Yeah, I think it's just
So,
melting,
uh,
cracking. But yeah, it's true because it's like, everything's gonna come out different for every person. Like, even if,
yeah,
it's just coming through your hands, through you're making the shape. There's just
right. Like the stuff I've done is not by any means never been done before.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm doing groundbreaking stuff. You're just doing your own iteration.
Exactly.
And so that shows.
Or even just like scratching the curiosity of like, can I figure out how to do this?
That's why I loved hand building so much.
Yeah.
Because a takeout container is a template.
So cool.
So if you can get that and then you can get it folded up, it's like an avocado. I swear to God. It's like, not ready, not ready, not ready. Ready now.
Oh my gosh.
No, you waited too long. Now it's going to crack every time you try to fold it. But it's fun when it comes out and, everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is a takeout container.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then you add the cool little like brass element
have
for
the brass handle.
The handle.
Like that just finished. I have to do that today to all my little terracotta takeout because like it just adds a nice little element.
You've done a lot of jewelry before too.
I play. I always want my jewelry to like sell better.
Yeah.
But I still make it because I love it.
I know.
Such a pain in the ass.
It's cool though. So you're doing luster firings.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of your work too, right?
We haven't done that in a while only because they actually discontinued the Duncan luster, right? I know we all cried about it. I still have some. It's like coveted. I'm sure it's like thick as oil right now.
There might be another manufacturer that's doing it now.
But we've kind of fallen off. I think it's like, it is a whole other step. It's super toxic. So you have to do it outside or in a super ventilated area.
Yeah.
And it's an easy firing, but it's a third firing.
Yeah.
So it can be a lot and people don't always love the gold in functional stuff.
Right.
Because then it's not dishwasher safe. It's not microwave safe.
I know.
Blah, blah, blah. So I think I'm getting back to like the less as I do this, which causes another firing, but less work or less involvement. I just want it to feel easy and that I love doing it. The lamps are really fun because I don't even have to glaze them most of the time.
Cool.
I have a couple of them I have, but mostly it's like the raw clay is so beautiful with like a beautiful like filament bulb or something and
awesome.
Feels modern, feels fun. And it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Are you selling stuff on your website right now?
Lamps? No, I have a couple other things, but everything's basically on hold for the shows that I have coming up in May. So
shows and then you see if there's anything left, then maybe online.
Maybe online. I'm going to put stuff online. It's just I need to be better about updating my website.
Do you post on like Instagram about where all your shows are going to be or on your website or like keep an eye on Instagram?
Instagram's, I think, the easiest for me.
Yeah.
And when you just mentioned a website, I'm like, oh, crap, I didn't even update Andem website with our event.
Oh, God.
I think don't watch that. It's
nothing to see here. I think people go to social, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I do. I pull up people's social to try to figure out where they're going to be.
Find it, then you click on a website.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just need to be better about doing all of the things.
It's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things.
I know. It's like a multi-income stream business that you've developed around yourself, which is a beautiful thing because, I mean, you had such a exciting rocket of success with those early sales, those big drops. It was so cool to see. It made it feel possible.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, like people really are buying this stuff. Maybe I can really do it.
It gives you confidence.
Just to see your trajectory gave me confidence. I'm like, oh my gosh, this like is a thing locals actually doing. And then you had the business acumen to start surrounding yourself with different aspects of the business to build it out. So like, maybe online sales are going down right now or like Instagram's changing always. So you can't always rely on that, but that's fine because you have different things going on. You have the studio space that you've built out. You've tried other things.
Yeah. I could do workshops. I just have to get off my ass and do it.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So cool. All right. Well, I'm going to close, but any advice that you would have for any creative entrepreneurs coming up, whether it's in pottery or otherwise?
I think I would just say, don't let your doubts overwhelm you. Just do it, right? Like, because if you fail, like, I mean, when we started Literary Local, I was like, oh, I want to do this so bad. And then it became so overwhelming and too much. And I felt like I had failed for a hot minute. And then I was like, but I freaking did it.
Yeah.
Karen reminds me, you did it. And I was like, I know. So just do it. Because even if you don't fully succeed, you've tried it. Try something else. Do it again. I just think being stagnant is where the bad stuff comes.
Yeah. Be ready for the pivot. Always. All right,
Sharrel.
Sharrel. Thank you so much. This is great. Oh my God. All right.